I was born and raised in Omaha, graduated from Omaha Benson, attended Creighton, and then I went out and traveled the country in the racetrack industry. I'm Mike Newlin, General Manager, Horsemen's Park and Lincoln Racecourse. I got my first experience with horse racing at Exarban. When I turned 18, I went to Exarban by myself. My first bet I ever made in my life hit for $435. I remember going home and telling my dad, they're giving away free money at the track. And my dad laughed and said, we'll see about that. But, I never worked at Exarban. I was a customer. I was very young at the time. And I just liked the whole atmosphere and the beauty of racing, the beauty of a 1,100-pound horse with a 110, 115-pound human on the back of it working together is amazing to me. It's one of the things I really like about this sport. It's an animal and a human working together for the ultimate objective. I came back to Nebraska to help recover what used to be a great industry in the thoroughbred racing industry here in Nebraska. In 1997 we lost Exarban. 2010 we lost State Fair Park. Nebraska used to have a very rich horse racing industry, and Exarban was one of the top 10 tracks in the country. I've traveled around the country working at different racetracks, and I came back here to help rebuild what used to be a great sport here. With Nebraska being 8th highest in property taxes, according to Kiplinger, that kind of surprises me. Because I've lived in other states and owned homes in other states, I would have suspected we would be higher than that. My property taxes here in my Papillion home are literally double what I was paying in either one of those states. When it comes to property taxes and taxes in general in this state, I think that the slogan, Nebraska, it's not for everyone, kind of fits. What frustrates me the most is the fact that a simple solution is 10 minutes away from Omaha. It's been there for 25 years. It's a simple, common sense solution that for some reason our politicians have been blind to forever. So I think we're headed for what could be the perfect opportunity for Nebraska to finally catch up to their neighbors. The fact that this has been going on in states surrounding us for more than 2 decades. A simple solution is there, but our politicians have turned a blind eye to it every year. If this gets passed, you're immediately going to see people want to breed Nebraska bred horses, which the breeding of a Nebraska thoroughbred is going to skyrocket. Right now we're averaging maybe 40 a year, 40 foals a year. Out of those 40, maybe 20 of them actually make it to the track as racehorses. You would see an immediate impact on the breeding, which would result in rural Nebraska benefiting. The farms that supply the hay and the oats and the straw, the ranchers that raise the horses. It would have a direct impact on rural Nebraska as well as the cities that the casinos are located in with jobs and things like that. The horse racing industry would go back to being one of the top in the nation, I think. Exarban was in the top 10. I think Omaha definitely has the population, has the love of horse racing, that we could get back to that level of Exarban type racing again. I think the positive impact that casinos would have here in Nebraska is, number one, we'd finally keep our money in the state. We'd finally be able to reap the rewards that we've been giving our neighboring states in entertainment and gambling dollars. The overall impact is not only the tax revenue, but the jobs that would be created, the ancillary work that would come with casino gambling, increased horse racing, things like that. It's a huge economic effect. I'm supporting casinos at the racetracks in the state because it limits where these casinos would be and the gambling that's going to take place. It prevents the state from having a free-for-all. And the racetracks that are in existence currently have been gambling in those cities for decades. So I like the fact that it limits the gambling, ties it into horse racing, which is an agricultural industry that benefits both the rural and the urban sections of Nebraska. I think there's certain people that you're just never going to change their mind, whether it be Governor Ricketts or Tom Osborne. There's just people that have a moral compass that doesn't allow them to accept the idea of gambling as a source of revenue. I think it's time that we let the people of Nebraska decide. And I think the vast majority, especially in the bigger cities in the state, I think the vast majority know that this is a no-brainer. This is something we should have done a long time ago. It's a new source of tax revenue. The governor and a lot of the politicians don't have the solutions for our tax needs. This is a solution.